Good evening, everyone. I'm waiting for some more people to join. Okay, so meanwhile, I would like to know how many of you attended the first session? Okay, okay, great. I see. So, for whosoever is joining for the first time, uh, I would recommend if you are not like uh, through the you did not go through the first session, so please I would request you to please go through that session first if your Python basics are not clear. But if it is if those basics are clear, basic concepts are clear, then it's totally fine. So we'll just continue from where we left last time. And also I request please keep your audio and videos off. If you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and ask, but try to be on mute otherwise. Okay, so let me just share the screen. Any query from the uh, okay, let me just share it, Anand. Everyone, please keep your videos turned off. So you can visit this YouTube channel of mine, and there is this live recording, like the session recording over here, available here. So you can visit that if you want to brush up some Python fundamentals. So anyone having any query from the previous session? Okay, so yeah, is there anyone who is having any query? Yeah, request everyone to please keep their videos turned off, as the session is getting recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube. So please ensure that your videos are off.
Saish, I think we are still left with a certain portion from the last
Yes,
session.
yes. So we'll continue from there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So we'll also look into some questions and some questions that will be similar to those asked in NPTEL examinations and your assignments. So it will be like a practice session. So for those who are joining, if you feel it is too basic, please feel free to drop, leave the call, because it's getting recorded and the recording will be available on YouTube. So you're not going to miss anything as such, and we are not taking attendance for this session. So it's up to you, if you want to attend this or not. Okay, so with that, let us begin. I hope my screen is visible. Okay, can someone please confirm if the screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, it
Yes,
is
sir.
visible, Saish.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you,
Yes, it is visible.
thank you. Okay, so for those who are joining for the first time, I am Saish Jaiswal, a PhD student in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Madras. Okay, so in the last class, we saw some introduction to data analytics, what data analytics is, and different types of data like nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. and different types of data, that is discrete and continuous, and that was under the numerical category, and then other one was categorical data. So these were the types of data, and then there were like levels of measurement that were like nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio data. And then we went on to some Python fundamentals. We discussed what variables are, how to declare variables, what are the rules of declaring variables, then how to declare a function like user defined function, how to use the inbuilt functions from Python, and then data structures, like we saw different data structures like list, dictionary, and tuple. We did not discuss set, but it's not that important. If you want to get details of this, I had taken one course earlier, like live sessions for a course called The Joy of Computing Using Python. So the sessions are like, the recordings are available on YouTube, so you can go over there and uh, look at those. So I won't be going into the details of Python fundamentals, but yeah, as we proceed, so we'll try to see various concepts relating to the statistics and all. So we'll be solving certain statistical problems using Python. So yeah, after that, we saw reading a file in a data frame. So we left over there, like it was just like we just read two files, like one was CSV file and one was Excel file. So we'll begin from there, and then we'll move on to some basic concepts of statistics, that is like central tendency and dispersion, and some visual representation of data. After that, like we'll see some questions uh, like similar to what you might expect in your examination. So that will be like a practice session, and then we will move on to the second week, that is introduction to probability. So let us begin. In the last class, in the last session, we saw the use of Colab Notebook, Google Colab Notebook. Is there anyone who is not familiar with Google Colab? Raja,
So myself,
sorry, yeah, what is your query?
sir, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay,
This is the
okay,
first time I'm attending the class. Sir,
okay.
can you explain
Okay,
again?
okay, cool. So yeah, it's not like so you just have to like, it's similar to Jupyter Notebook, whatever was discussed in the Swayam lectures. The only difference is this is by Google and it's being hosted on a cloud. So whatever work you do on, or whatever coding you do on Colab, it gets stored on your Google Drive, so you can access it from anywhere. So you simply have to just go to Google Colab and then create a notebook over there. So you'll get new notebook, and then you can run your Python programs over there. So it's pretty simple. Okay. So last time we saw like in Python there are many inbuilt libraries. Libraries are nothing but uh, like a repository of function or a directory of functions which you can use. So pandas is one such library, and also we saw in the last session that we can import a library and give it a name, like here I am doing import pandas as PD. So PD is known as alias of this library pandas. You can give any other name, whatever you prefer, but these are like a standard norms that are used, like standard names that are used for these libraries. Like for example, there is a library called NumPy, numerical Python, as we saw in the last class. And people generally write NumPy as NP. So you don't have to like call NumPy again and again in your code later. So you can simply call it as NP. It's like a nickname given to you. So yeah, so after that we saw how to read CSV and Excel file. For those of you who had doubts, queries regarding how to download the
Sir, your audio is not clear.
sorry, uh,
No, it's clear for
No,
me.
it's very clear.
okay,
No,
okay,
it's very clear.
Okay, so I think like whosoever was having query, like I think your internet connection is having issue. So I'd recommend you to please switch your network or just try uh, to join from some other place. Okay. So for those of you who were having queries regarding where to download these data files from, so when you go to this NPTEL course in the week 1 or similarly in the subsequent weeks as well, there will be this section called important data files. So you'll have to go over here and then there will be links to the files that were used by Professor Ramesh in the lectures that he delivered. So yeah, any query in this? Okay, I hope it's all clear to everyone. Please let me know, like you please feel free to interrupt whenever you have any query.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm first time attending the class,
Okay.
and earlier, sir, I have used Jupyter, but sir, I'm not able to upload my CSV file there, import there. Can you
Ria,
tell me?
as I said, like you need not import anything as upload anything to Jupyter. Jupyter is being run like on your local system, so it's running on your local system. So you just have to give the absolute path of the file.
Yes, sir. I have like copy paste that folder specifically in which I have kept my data
Mm-hmm.
sets. So I have made sure that no other like that particular except that CSV file, any file should be there. So I have pasted that only, but that then also I didn't get that thing.
Is your CSV file in the same directory as your Python file?
I have that I tried, sir. That I have created new folder also. Then
Yeah.
also I have tried it, but I
So
didn't
yeah,
get that.
so you have to make sure that your Python file is in the same directory as CSV. If you are just using the CSV file name while uh, like reading that CSV file, else you will have to like give the exact path. Like if you are using Windows or any other operating system, you'll have to give the absolute path. So suppose it is in the C drive documents folder, so you'll have to give like this, like the entire path of that particular CSV file. So make sure that this file path is correct. If it is not, then it will throw error that the file, like file not found error, something similar. So you'll have to make sure that the file is on the path. Okay. So if please try that out. Like if it is not getting resolved, we'll try to resolve that at the end of the session. Okay. Any other
Okay,
queries?
sir.
Yeah. Any other queries?
Saish, how we are going to write this CSV name over there? You just type it, or you need to attach something?
This is a string
Yeah,
actually. So let me just write it from scratch.
you need
So
to type it.
yeah, so
Okay.
df is the name of the variable which will be storing, like in which we will be storing the data frame. You can just give any name, d frame, df, or any other name. Then you'll have to use in pandas library. I'm calling it using pd. There is a function called read csv. Now in this you will have to pass the name of the file. So here I have this gapminder 5-year data.csv. So I can just type the name of this file over here and then run the cell. So it has read this file. So if I just simply type this df frame or df d frame, so it will give me the data. So whatever data was there in the CSV file, it got read in this variable d frame, or we can simply use df. Sorry. Yeah. So similarly for Excel as well. So instead of CSV, let me just give it a name df Excel. So PD has this function, pandas has this function read Excel. So please like note this, the spelling of Excel. it's not. So the format of this Excel file is XLSX, but when you have to read it, the function name is readexcel, EXEL. So please keep a note of this, because some people were having query that they were trying to read XLSX. So that is wrong. That there is no such function in pandas library as read XLSX. So please take care of that. So yeah, you can add the name over here. I just use this shortcut. I just try to rename the file, just copy everything and then paste it over here. So let me just print this. Yeah. So this is your data frame. So whatever data was there in this Excel file got stored in this variable dfxl in the form of a data frame. So data frame is again a structure, a tabular structure, from which you can access data and you can do certain processing on it to extract certain relevant information. So we'll see like how you can do that. So till this point, anyone having any query? Please feel free to ask. Like even if it is very simple query, basic query, please ask it. So there is no harm in asking query.
Sir, once again, could you repeat regarding data frame?
Data frame. Okay. So data frame is a structure, is a tabular structure in which your data from the CSV or Excel file or JSON file, whatever format there are. So you can store that data in the tabular form in a structure called data frame, and that data frame is defined by pandas. So pandas library is being used to read a CSV or Excel file. So let me just show you how this CSV file looks. I am opening it over here. Okay, it's taking quite a long time. So CSV file is basically comma separated values. So each row in a CSV file will have, yeah, so here it actually displays it as a table, but if you just open it in a normal text editor, so it will be like country, comma, year, comma, pop, comma, and so on, and next row will be Afghanistan, comma, 1952, comma, and so on. So it's a comma separated value file, and when you read it in this data frame using pandas, it all this information gets stored in the data frame. So you can see over here, this df is a variable which is having the data frame, which is containing all these columns which are same as the CSV file columns, and there are rows that correspond to the serial numbers correspond to each row. And as we discussed in the previous session, so indexing in Python happens from 0 and not from 1. So if you have to access the first row, you will have to give 0. So let me just show you how. So if you do 0, there is a way to access rows in data frame. So for that, there is a function called lock and ilock. As its name suggests, it is used to get rows at certain location. So for example, okay, so df is having this data frame, the data of country, year, and so on. So if I want to access the first row, that is Afghanistan 1952 and so on. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so I can simply do df.log and 0. So if you see, if you can see over here, let me just delete these things. You can do similar operations on the data read from Excel file. So once you read the data, it's all like data frame that you have in your hand. You can do any sort of operation on it, whatever is available in the pandas library, whatever is defined by the pandas library. So let us see, stick to this CSV file data, and we'll do certain operations on it to extract any information from the data frame. So df.log 0 will give you the information in the first row. So you can see over here country Afghanistan, year 1952 and so on. So all this information is extracted. So you want to have any query? Okay, please. Okay, please ensure that you are on mute if you don't have any queries. Okay, so df.log 0 will give you the first row. So if I want to, okay, I have a question. If I want to access 10th row, so what will be the location I'll have to give?
9.
Yes, that's correct. So df.log 9 will give you the information of the 10th row. Okay.
So your data table,
Sorry.
act like an array, right? Or list
So
where
this
the index of the first row is 0.
uh, it is not exactly array, but yeah, you can consider it as a list of list, or like a structure in which like every row is like a
Record.
yeah, is a record, and these are like stored in a list. So
Okay.
yeah, so you can access every element of that list or array using this.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I think we can say every cell is the record.
Every cell.
Yeah.
How do you define
Instead
that?
of row.
No. So here it's a
A row is a record.
yeah. So every row is a record, like it is having information about that particular country. Okay, in this case, so every row you can access using a index value, and that indexing in Python starts from 0. So you'll have to make sure that to access ith row, you'll have to give I-1 as the index. So suppose you want to access more than one rows, so you can give a list of rows over there. So say if I give 1, or let me say 0, 1 and 4. So you can see I have got row first, that is at index 0, row second at index 1, and row fifth at index 4. Now you can have like row haha. Any query? Please ensure that you are on mute. Okay, so this is the way you can access any row or a list of rows. So for example, I think last time we did not discuss loops and range in Python. So there is a function in Python called range. So if I give range 5, it will generate a range from 0 to 5 where 5 is excluded, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in Python, there is a way to iterate over the values using loop, and there are two types of loop. I'll just discuss for loop. So there is similar loop called as while loop. So for those of you who do not know about this, you can definitely visit W3 schools, and in that Python, and there will be a section on loops, Python while loop and Python for loop. Sorry. Yeah. So if you want to, okay, so let me just take this example. I have this list called fruits, which is having 3 elements: apple, banana and cherry. I want to print each. So if I just simply do print, let me just comment this out. If I do print fruits, it will just print the list as it is. But if I want to print each element in the list on different line, so for that I'll have to use this loop, for loop. So for x in fruits, so this x is again a variable, and fruits is a list. So for every value in this fruit, print x. You can have any name over here. So for fruit in fruits, you can also say like this, print fruit. So let me just run this. So you can see over here, the 3 fruits are printed on different lines. Okay, and similarly, if you want to print, say, numbers, I have a number, like a list of numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somebody is on unmute. Please be on mute. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I want to print the elements of this list. So for number or num in A, print num. So as we discussed in the previous session, the indentation is important in Python. So you will have to make sure that for every block there is a proper indentation. So even if it is like a for loop or while loop or a function, you will have to have this indentation. So let me
Will this indentation come automatically, or do I
Mm,
need to keep a
yeah.
track of it?
Yeah, in some editors it does come automatically, but in certain text editors, like if it is a default text editor of Linux or Windows, so the indentation option might not be there. It depends on the text editor that you are using. So in Colab it comes automatically. So if I again write like for num in A, so you can see that the moment I entered, indentation came automatically, but it may not be the case in certain text editors. So you will have to make sure that the indentation is there, else you might end up getting some random things in your code. Okay, so I'm printing this, but say if I want to access number till, I want to print numbers till 1 lakh or 100, so I cannot simply type like 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 100. So to avoid that, in Python there is a function called range. So if you just write for num in range 8, print num, so it will print the values from 0 to n minus 1. So it will print, so whatever value you pass over here, it will print that. So if I want to say print range 1 to 8, so for 1 will be the starting point, and
Hey, Shaish, sorry to interrupt.
uh-huh.
So, can you make a little bit the font bigger,
Oh,
if
sure,
possible?
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope it is visible now.
One more point, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let me just try to reduce this. Fine. So for num in range 1 to 8, it will print all the numbers. So this is the starting point. So the starting index is included, but the ending index, whatever you are giving over here, it's excluded. So you'll have to keep that in mind. So why did we discuss this? Like as I told, like application is like if you have to print large number of numbers, so it can, like, you can print till 99 or so on, or if you want to iterate for certain number of iterations, like, so you can do that using this range function. So
We can provide an increment also in this.
yeah,
Say 2 or
yes, so that is like you can do it in while loop. So while, okay, let me just discuss the while loop syntax as well. So let's say count equal to 0. So while count is less than, say, 10, print count, and count equal to count plus 1. So what we are doing over here, it's similar to for loop, the syntax is a bit different. So here you are giving the initialization over here outside the loop, and then you are putting certain condition on it. So till the time this count is less than 10, the moment it enters the loop, the count value is 0. So it will do this job of printing the count value, and then it will increment count by 1. So let me just print this. So you can see it has done the same job. We have not used any range function or nothing. So you need not get into like bother much about it. You can definitely, like, for those of you who do not know what while loop and for loops are, so please visit this W3 schools, and then you can have a hands-on session on, like, a hands-on tutorial on this
I have a
Python.
little confusion over here, Saish.
Yeah,
Should I go for the for loop or for the file loop? Because both have the same
depends.
purpose,
Yeah,
isn't it?
depends on the like uh, application. So if you know the range of like from it's totally up to you. Like actually you can convert the entire for loop syntax to while loop and vice versa. So there is not much difference, but in certain cases while loop is preferred to kind of, like, I'm not getting an example, but like to have a better readability of the code. So like for example over here, the while loop, whatever operation is being done by this while loop can also be written in the case of for loop. But as I said, for loop you might be needing like that list, which will be like, if it is like 100 number list, so you can't have like 100 numbers written in a list and then loop over each of the elements of the list. So you have to use range over there. And here I'm not using any of the inbuilt Python libraries or functions. I'm simply having a variable count and keeping a condition on this variable count. So I can also have till 100, and then it will simply go on to 100, like 99. So yeah, it depends on the code, whatever application you have and like kind of code you want to write. So it's up to you, like, if you want to use for loop or while loop.
Um, Sorry to interrupt you,
Huh.
but can you please explain the range part one more time,
Yeah, sure.
if possible?
Okay, so for I in range 10 print I. So what it is doing, this range function, as its name suggests, it returns a range of numbers. So range of numbers from, if the starting index is not mentioned over here explicitly, if you just have one entry, so it will be giving you a range from 0 to n minus 1, whatever n value is here. So but if you want to start from certain number, say 2, so it will print from 2 to 10 minus 1. So let me just print this out
2 to
over here.
9.
Yeah, 2 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the application of this now in the context of data frame? So let me just go back over here. We printed here certain rows in the data frame, certain entries in the data frame. Now if you want to like print certain columns as well, like for that particular rows, or let us print all the columns, or let us just see for the 0th row, and we'll have to print country column. Okay, so for 0 row I am printing the country column. If I just simply give country over here, sorry, not log, df country, so it will give me the entire column, the country column in the data frame, and from that I can access any of the rows. But if I want to have, like, say df dot multiple columns, like I want country, population, pop, say, let's say this 2, not dot. Okay, so I have got 2 columns. So what is
Sir,
yes,
sir, instead of giving the names, we can give the column number, no, sir?
column number, yeah, I'll come to that. So column number, for that you will have to use certain other function, or yeah, I'll come to that shortly. So
Uh,
yeah,
uh, Here you did not use LOC.
Yellow C, yeah. So I'm not accessing any particular row over here. I'm just simply accessing a column. So LOC was used for accessing certain row. So df.loc,
Okay.
yeah. So if I want to
And
have
LSC stands for
location,
location. Okay.
yeah. So if I want to have
So if you
like
want, if you want to access particular row, then we have to use LOC. Is correct?
LOC, yeah. So now,
Okay.
yeah, I coming to the question from some other person. I'll just discuss iLoc. There is something called as ILOC, or iLoc. So I'll discuss that shortly. So meanwhile, so this was the first entry in location was the rows, and if you want to access, so this is like it is giving the entire row for the 0th index and the first index. If I want to have only country and year, so I can give another list, pass another list over here, country, year, oops, sorry, there is a typo, yeah. So you can see over here I'm getting 0th row, first row, and the columns country and year. So if you want to extract certain information from the data frame, you can do so using this log.
Just one thing.
Mhm.
There is any principle for remembering this where we have to use normal parentheses or where we have to use rectangular bracket?
It's actually defined in the syntax of the functions. I mean, it's in Python and in the library. So yeah, you'll have to remember this thing. But even if you don't remember, it will just simply throw an error, and you can just search it online, like how to access rows in a data frame. So yeah, there will be like multiple forums in which like you will find answers to all these questions. So you need not like remember everything, but these are just the basic things that you need to remember. Like for location, like if you want to access something in it is applicable to any data structure in Python. Like say I have a list 1 2 3 and I want to access the 0th element. So it's like we generally use this square brackets. So these are actually operators, but we won't go into the detail. This is the operator in Python that is used to access a certain element in the list.
Okay.
Yeah. So similarly in the data frame case, we are having this lock to access a row, and then if you don't give this lock over here and just pass on this column names, so it will give you the columns country and year. Okay, so let me come back over here 0 1. So the first entry in this log is row. This list corresponds to rows and this list corresponds to column. Now somebody asked, like, can we not give the numbers over here? So let us try that. If we just give 0 and 1,
Hello.
yeah, yes, any query?
Sir, can you tell me what do you study this topic?
Sorry.
Because I'm hello, my
Uh-huh.
voice is audible.
Yes, yes.
Sir, can you tell me what is this topic? Because I'm
This
not
is
understand
yeah, this is data
what.
frame. So sorry, who is this? So I would recommend you to just visit my NPTEL like YouTube channel and go through the first session of this course. I have discussed some basics of Python over there, so you can go over that and then like come back and look at the recording of this session. So this session is also getting recorded, so yeah, you can look at the session recording later as well. It will be uploaded to the same YouTube
Okay,
channel. Yeah.
okay, thank you so much, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a
Hello,
doubt,
sir.
sir.
I am.
It is
Hello.
saying that the typical no. Could you save present
Hello.
website which you are using?
Yeah. Can one person ask at a time? Like so, for those who do not know Python, so this is the website W3 Schools, in which you can go to the Python
No,
section.
sir. I asked which website you are using present. You
Oh,
said it's like
oh,
same
Colab.
like
Yeah,
Jupyter.
yeah. This is Google Colab.
Google Colab, sir.
Yeah, Google Colab. So it's Google Collaboratory. So you can visit and create a notebook over there. Is that
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
yeah? Any other query?
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Okay.
Sir, I
Yes.
have written in the chat box.
Mhm.
Please see this syntax.
Mhm.
I am facing problem.
Yeah.
Hello.
So Adarsh, yes. So lock cannot be used to access.
Yeah. Lock is not used.
Yeah. So here the first
Okay.
entry in lock will be the row. So if you want to use this way, let me just show you. If you want to access country and pop, you will have to pass on the row numbers here. So 0, comma 1 and comma. So here this first list corresponds to row numbers and this is column. So then you will be able to access it, and say like if I want to access all the rows, so there is this colon in Python which represents everything. So if you give a list like 0 to 1, 0, 1, 5, you can give any random numbers here in this list, but if you want
Sure.
everything, so if you just simply have to write this colon, so it will give you all the rows, and for all the rows it will give you this two specific columns. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So similarly, if you just write colon over here, so it is like all the rows and all the columns. So it will give you the entire data frame. Now coming back to the question one person asked, like can we not give the column number like column numbers over here? So it is not possible in lock. For that,
So we need to define df columns.
the columns are actually defined in the CSV file, so it has already read that. But if you just simply print this df columns, so it will give you the list of columns, whatever columns were defined in the CSV file by
No,
default.
with the numbers also. If I need to define the numbers, I can put the numbers in the brackets with the df dot columns.
Yeah, you can do that. Maybe we'll discuss that later. Like there is a way to rename all these columns as numbers, so you can do that. But the query was like, can we not simply like whatever data frame that we have currently, can we not access it using the column numbers? Like say like 0th column is country, first column is year, and second column is pop, and so on. So 0th index, column at 0th index, first index and second index. So can I not access it using index? So for that there is a special thing in Python data frame called ilog. So using ilog you can access, so for row it is same as what you were doing earlier, but now you can also give column numbers. So you can see over here I have given column index 0 and 1. So it has taken the 0th column and the first column, means the column at index 0 and column at index 1. So ilog is the function that you can use. So
Sir, how to delete multiple datas?
how to delete?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So it is
The
also working with this.
multiple data.
Okay.
Sorry. Can one person ask a
No,
query?
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so let me complete this part, then we'll try to answer the other queries. Maybe towards the end of the session I'll talk more about data frame, because I'll also have to cover the basics of statistics, and also have to go to the second week topic like probability, introduction to probability. So please hold on to your queries, like if these are relating to data frame, we'll discuss it later towards the end of the session, or maybe in the next session. So yeah, so I'm
Just
just
one thing.
haha.
One thing related to this only, where you have written 0 and 1.
Uh-huh.
So it will be serial number wise, or we can give some ABCD जो Excel में होते हैं.
ABCD. Okay, so you mean like no. So it depends on the column name number that is there in the data frame. So column names, sorry. So whatever column names are there, you will have to access using that column name. But in ilog, that is the problem. If you try to do country over here, it will throw an error. So it doesn't allow you to access columns with the column names. So that is only available in log.
Okay.
Saish, if you can check the chat,
Okay.
the same thing can be accessed through this one. I tried it.
Yeah, so df dot columns. Okay, so that is another thing. So what df dot columns gives you, df dot columns, it gives you a list. So when you do df dot column 0, it will give you the first column, and df dot column, sorry, 0 to 1, it will give you first two columns. Okay, 0 comma 1. So what you are doing, you are just trying to replace this country comma year with df dot column 0 1. So you are just extracting 0th and the first index column names from this list and then passing it over here indirectly. So that's the same thing happening over there.
We can use them alternatively, like iloc and this thing.
Yeah, so in iloc you will have to have the numerical values only in this. So coming to the range part of it, so
Sir,
uh-huh,
excuse me, sir. In
yes,
iloc, we can use only the number functions. In iloc function, we can only use the numericals.
yes, yes.
Why, sir?
So it's defined that way in Python library. If you want to use like the names, so you can use the log.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So
So
one
there is a
thing,
difference between that
yeah,
log and iloc.
yeah, there is a difference. So you can use, and there is one more function in ilog. So you can even access the rows from below. So if you give ilog of -1, so you can get the last entry. This is the last entry, Zimbabwe 2007. So in Python, negative indexing is also supported. So say a of 0 is 1 over here in this list, and if I do a of -1, so it will return 3. So -1 is the last index. If I do -2, it will be the second last index, I mean second last number, and so on. So negative indexing is possible in Python, and that you can use in ilog, but the same is not possible in log. So if you do df.log -1, it will throw an error, key error. So
Thank you, sir.
yeah, so in ilog you can access the data from the data frame using numerical index, and this can be negative as well. Okay, so coming back to range.
So just now I've written in the chat box. It's df.log. Is that syntax is
No, this is not a correct
fine or not?
syntax. No.
Because it's
Yeah, so you'll have
yeah.
to remove this quotation marks from 0. So let me just paste your thing
Could
over
you show
here.
me?
Yeah, so this quotation mark, this is not the entire thing. So this should be new number and comma country. So this is the correct way.
Yeah, 0 is an index. You cannot write it in the quotes.
Yeah, so this is a number and this is a string.
Zero being the index and country being the
Yeah,
column, right?
yes. So yeah, so let me just show you 0, 1, 2. So this is a list of rows, and I want to print, so let me use ilog. I want to print first 3 columns. So I can just simply give range of 3. So as we discussed, range returns a range of numbers or a list from 0 to n-1. So it will be having like 0th in column at 0 index, column at 1 in index 1, and column at index 2. So this is one application of range over here. Like if you want to access first n columns, so you can simply pass on range over there. Okay, I hope all this is clear to everyone. You can play around with it, like you can go to the documentation of data frame, or you can just search it online. Like you will find a number of applications of this functions and the methods that are there.
Saish, you there?
Yeah. Yes, any query?
No, you just stuck for a moment, so I thought.
Maybe there is a network issue on my side or maybe on your side. Okay. Yeah. So we have covered this. Now there is something called as group by in data frame. So if you want to, let me just print the data frame again. So if I
Sir,
want,
your video is not visible here.
oh, is it? Is my screen
No,
visible?
it's yeah, your screen has been shared and it is visible clearly.
Okay, okay, thank you. Maybe like there is a network issue. Who was that? So please check your network connection once. Okay, so if you want to see the data frame is containing the columns like country, year, population, and so on. So there are multiple entries corresponding to year 1952. So it might be like corresponding to Afghanistan and then Zimbabwe 1952 and so on. So if I just want to like see the, so there is a column called life exp which corresponds to life expectancy. So in Afghanistan in the year 1952, the life expectancy of the population was 28.801 years. So if you want to see the average life expectancy in the year 1952 for all the countries, so you can use this function in Python called group by. So I want to group by year, and then for this column life expectancy, I want to find the mean of it. So it will give me the mean for each of the years. So 1952, 1957, whatever years are present over there, it will give me mean or the average life expectancy in that particular year. So you can group by anything. You can group by continent as well. So I hope there is a yeah. So there is this column called continent. So you can see Africa had a average life expectancy of 48, America, Asia, Europe, and Oceania, and so on. So yeah, again, we won't be going too much into the details of this, but this group by is a function which you can use to group certain data and perform certain statistical operations on it. For example, mean is one such example. So yeah, please explore this more as a homework. I won't be able to discuss everything in detail over here, but yeah, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Uh-huh.
Sir, you will use the different braces for continent and life expectancy.
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes, yes, it is correct. It is the syntax that you have to follow. So this will give you the that subset of data frame. So let me just show you how what it outputs. So it will give you an object which contains this data frame grouped by this particular column. So if you want to access certain thing, say continent. So again, I'll have to go more details for this. So I'm skipping some details over here. So it will give you from this group data, you will get this column called continent. Sorry, not continent. Let's say life expectancy. Okay, so you can do now once you have this data, you can do certain operations like mean is one of those operations that you can perform on this so it is a numerical data, so you can do averaging over there, but if it were like some other categorical data, then mean is not possible. So yeah, it depends on the kind of data that you are having. So the basically what is happening over here, this thing is grouping the data by the column continent, the values in the column continent, and then you are accessing the element or the particular column called life expectancy, and then finding the mean of that. So let me just see if I can show you if like the way it is grouped. I'll give more than one columns over here. So group by say year and continent. Okay, can you see over here now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it has group by year
And,
and continent. So for every year I have continents, and for every continent I have this mean life expectancy.
and suppose if I restrict to continent, one or two only, then
Yeah, so if you restrict to continent, it will give you oops, it will give you the average expectancy for each of the continent.
I want to restrict from the for the output as Asia and Europe only.
Oh, Asia and Europe only.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so let me just store this thing in a variable. Okay, so this is like for the so whatever is being written by this is getting stored in this variable called continent. Okay, so if I want to extract, so this is like a list getting stored over here, and then if you want to access any particular entry, so you can give the index of that. So this is like 0th index, first index, and second index, and so on.
That
So
means two stages we have to form.
sorry,
In two stages we have to solve this problem.
yeah, you can do it in a series, like store it in a variable and then access it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure if you can directly, like, let me just try it out. I have never tried it out.
It can just
Yeah, if I just give 2 over here, let me just see what it gives. Yeah, it gives directly as well. So if you want to extract for Asia, there will be some way in which like you can pass on the name Asia and get that information. I'll have to also see that, like, how that can be done. I'm not aware of it, but yeah, I'll definitely look into it and let you know. You can also
no
search over
issue.
here. Yeah.
No issue.
Yeah. Okay, so let us wrap it up over here, like this data frame part, and then we'll move on to the basic statistics. So I hope it is clear so far. If not, like, please let me know towards the end of the session. We'll first discuss this basic statistical concepts. Okay, so uh, can someone tell me, like, what is central tendency and what is dispersion? Like, measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion. What are these two terms?
Central tendency is we understand that any number which can be indicating a group of the datas representing data.
Mm, as its name suggests, it's a central tendency of the data.
Yeah.
So it can be a mean or mode or
It is
median.
the measures of location.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
is mean, median, and
yes, mean, median, mode,
percentiles.
weighted mean, percentile, anything. So whatever
Yeah.
gives you the location of a certain data point or attribute in the data, that is the central tendency of. For example, mean. So mean will give you the average of the data points. Uh, say 1 2 3, so average will be like 1 plus 2 plus 3 by 3. So it will be like the data point will be located at the middle of it. Let me just share my screen, iPad screen. Is my iPad screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so say I have these numbers 1 2 3 4. So So the mean will be summation of all the numbers by total number of numbers. Okay, so we'll come to this concept called population mean and sample mean later in the course. So the whatever we are finding over here, if it is a sample, it's a sample mean. If it is entire population, it is population mean. So these are denoted by mu and s. So mu is the sample mean and s is the population mean. Mu is the population mean and s is the sample mean. So keep these notations in mind. We'll be coming back to this again. Okay, and then another central tendency measure is mean is 1. There is something called as mode. So mode is nothing but the quantity that is occurring the most in your data. So for example, I have this data like 1 1 2 2 2 3 3 3 3. So what is the mode over here?
3.
Yeah.
3.
So the quantity or the number that is occurring the most is my mode. And what about the median? Okay, I have these data points.
There is no mode over here.
3 is the median.
There is no mode.
3 is the median.
No, 3 is the median.
Yeah, 3 is the median.
3 is the median.
Yes. Okay. So median is nothing but the central point in the sorted data. So sorry, I should have removed this. This would have confused you. So we are finding median over here. So median is like a location which is at the center. So if I had like even number of data points, so what will be the median of this?
3.5.
So 3 plus 4 divided by 2.
Yes. So it will be located between this. That is 3.5. So can you see the property of median and mode and the mean? Is this quantity there in the data?
No.
No.
No, sir.
Yeah. So that is the thing. If so for mean and mode, the mean and mode need not be a part of the data. And for mode, it should be strictly a data point in the whatever data points you have. So that is one property. And what else is there? Yeah, so we have percentile. So percentile is like whatever data points you have, you divide your data points in 100 parts, and each part like so 1 percentile is like a position. So this is sorted. So 1 percentile will be like 1% of data points are lying below it. 2 percentile will be 2% of data points are lying below it, and so on. So what will be like how will you define median in the terms of percentile?
It's like a box plot.
We'll come to the box plot, Shanku, later, like towards the end, like visualization of data. I don't want to confuse others. So
median you are asking, no?
Yeah, so I'm asking median. So how will you define median in terms of percentile?
50%?
50%?
50.
Yeah, you'll have to be very clear. It's not 50%, it's 50 percentile. So 50 percentile, it's the center point which divides the data into two halves, means into two parts, two equal parts. So this 50 percentile will be your median. Okay. So yeah, and there is a concept of quartile. So what is quartile? It is nothing but percentiles, but instead of dividing the data into 100 parts, means you divide the data into 100 parts, and each of the quarters 25, so you are dividing it into 4 quarters. So this is called as first quartile or Q1, second quartile and third quartile. So Q1 is 25 percentile, Q2 is 50 percentile, that is the median, and Q3 is 75 percentile.
75%.
Yeah, percentile, not percent. So there is a difference between percentile and percent. Percent is like a proportion, and percentile is like the number, or like the number of the percentage of data points that are below that particular data point, that location. Okay, so you might be hearing about this percentile nowadays, like in your JE ranking or GATE ranking or whatever exam rankings. So they gave it as a percentile. So percentile means that those many percentage of students are below your rank. So whatever rank you have, your rank is at that percentile. So you might not be having 98% marks, it's 98 percentile, means 98% of the students are below you. That's the meaning of it. Okay.
100 percentile is not there, it is topper.
100 percentile, yeah, so that will be the topper.
That's
It's
like a
topper.
kind of rare.
Yeah, so it need not be like full marks, but it is like the highest mark that someone would have gotten in the examination. But in that also it depends.
Right.
If you have like let us not go into the details of that. Like 100 percentile is like 100% of the people are like below you, or the ranks are below you. But what I was trying to say is, like, you have ranks, like if there are multiple peoples on the same rank, so in that also, like say I have like 100 marks, so many people might be having 100 marks, but these are sorted. So the last person, like in the sorted list, will be like at the 100 percentile position, and before that also, even if they are on the same marks, they might be like at the lower percentile, like 99.999 percentile and so on. So yeah, it's not like it's the position of the data point at below which there are other data points, like the other n%. So n percentile is basically n% of the data points are below you. Yeah. So it's 7 already. Yeah. So this was mean about the central tendency measures. What about dispersion? So central tendency was like, so if these are my data points, so this will be the mean of that. Okay, in this case, and say my data points are like this. So again, this is the mean. Sorry. So this is 0, 1, 2, negative 1, 2, and 0, 2, 4, negative 2, negative 4. Okay, so can you see that the mean of these two lists or set of data points is the same? So how will you differentiate these two data points? I mean, two sets.
Like the elements are the points which are away from zero, like how much they are.
How close?
Yeah.
How close are they to zero?
Yes. So that is measured by dispersion. So there are multiple measures of dispersion as well. One is like absolute difference or mean absolute deviation. So you can,
In the second case, dispersion is 0 to 8.
no, so dispersion we will have to define it using certain measures. So there are different measures. So one of the measure is mean absolute deviation. So this is your mean, say mu. And what you have to do is, to measure the dispersion, you have to take the absolute difference. So this is, okay, so let me just draw this. So this is the length, dispersion of this from the mean, dispersion of this data point from the mean, and so on. So you have this lengths. So you take the average of these lengths. you will get average dispersion. Similarly, you have this length of size 2, of size 4, 2 and 4. So, it will be 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4 divided by 4, and in this case it will be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 divided by 4.
Second one is the mean.
So, this is the length. Now, how did I find the length? So, how can we find the length? It is nothing but the data point minus the mean, the absolute value of it, and you divide it by the number of data points. So, let me write it as a formula: 1 over n summation xi minus mu summation over I starting from 1 to n. So, it is nothing but, so xi's are, so in this case actually it should be instead of 4 it should be 5, because we have like 0 also data point which is having the 0 length from itself. So, this is denoting the length, this distance of each data point from the mean, and you are taking the average
Sir,
distance.
can you
You are taking the,
sir, can you show by substituting in the formula, sir?
okay, yeah, okay. So, let me just show. So, it will be, so in this second case, this is the first case, this is the second case. So, it will be, so for those of you who do not know, this vertical lines, it denotes absolute value. Absolute value is nothing but, like, if you, even if you have a negative value, it will convert it to positive. So, you are just looking at the magnitude of it.
Shall I tell in the very simple form?
Yes, please go ahead, Shankar.
Absolute value is nothing but the distance from the 0.
Yes, but
It's not negative, and it's never negative.
yeah, so absolute value is never negative. If you see the function of the absolute value, if you draw the function, it will be like, for 1 it is 1, for 2 it is 2, for 3 it is 3, for negative 1 it is 1, for negative 2 it is 2, and so on. So, this is the function that you can draw for absolute value function mod x, f of x equal to mod x. So, this is called as mod, and so substituting the values over here, so we have 5 data points. So, we will be having,
So in a discussion, whatever the variability of data is there, the same mean will become.
sorry, I didn't get your question.
Whatever the variability of data has given in dispersion. Dispersion means the showing the variability of data, no sir.
It shows the spread of the data, not the variability. It's,
Okay.
yeah, it's very,
It
there is,
shows the variability of data.
it is called as, there is a term for it called variance. So, we will come to variance.
Yeah.
Variance is another measure of dispersion, and this is like the mean absolute deviation, like what is the absolute deviation from the mean.
So the variance is different, but we get the mean same for that one.
Yeah, so let me come back to that. So, in this case what we are doing, we are just having this modulo, and for somebody had a question like to substitute the values. So, it will be like negative 4 minus 0 plus negative 2 minus 0 plus 0 minus 0 plus 2 minus 0 plus 4 minus 0, and so on, divided by the number of data points 5. So, it will be 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 divided by 5. So, this will be the mean absolute deviation of your data points. So, if in the case where the means are same, the dispersion value, mean absolute deviation, will show you how the data points are spread. If it is more, it means that the data points are spread far apart. If it is less, it means vice versa, means the other way around. Okay, but now this is like a power one function. Like if you want to penalize more, like if you want to penalize this distance of the points that are farther apart, say I have data points like this, I have more data points concentrated at a point, and I have like one data point which is like far apart, and the mean will be somewhere over here, say. So I want to penalize this distance more. So for that, what we use is, we use the square of this. Instead of using absolute, so instead of using the absolute deviation, we use the square of it, and this term is called as variance, which is denoted by sigma square if it is a population variance, and S square if it is a sample variance. We'll come to that later, like
So just quick one, like, when you're trying to do this, what is the impact of outlier? Just in
yeah.
one liner, if you.
Okay, so we'll come to outliers. So the data points, maybe I'll discuss it in the box plot discussion, what outliers are. Yeah. So outliers are nothing but the data points that are very far away at certain standard deviation. So what is standard deviation? Now I'll have to explain that. By the way, I think I made a mistake like in the notation of mean earlier. So the population mean is denoted by mu and the sample mean by m, and the population variance by sigma square and sample variance by S square. So yeah, please note that, like I think I made a mistake earlier.
What is the difference between a sample and population in data?
Yeah, we will discuss it in the later part of the course, like where we will do the sampling, where we will discuss different ways of sampling. So for in general, like population is like all the data points that are possible in your space, and sample is nothing but you are taking just a subset of that. I hope that is clear. Like we'll discuss it in detail, like how these samples are taken, and there are different ways of sampling data points. So basically population is like the entire, so for example population of people, so the all the people in the world, that will consist of population, and just like you are taking people of India, that is a sample. Say you have like 1000 products in total, and you are taking only 5 products out of those 1000 products. So that is like you are taking a sample out of those 1000 same products. So sample is nothing but a subset of the superset, whatever universal set you have. Population is the universal set.
So in these two different scenarios, the terms that we are using in variance and mean,
yes,
they represent and their formula is basically the same, but their symbols are different.
Symbols are different, but the formula is also different. I don't want to confuse you guys like right now. So there is a difference in the formula, like the denominator that is used in the computation of sample variance, that is different than what is used in the population variance. So we'll come to that later. I'll have to introduce some more terms over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the time being, like it is just a measure of dispersion what we are discussing. So if you want to like penalize the data points that are very far apart, so you simply take the square of it, and this term is called as variance. So let us just get this terminology in our minds. So we'll be coming to this again and again in the later part of the course. So these are the two basic dispersion, and there are other as well. So let us see this. Now,
Saish, one question. What is the meaning of the penalizing the for data?
Yeah, so if the data point is far away, so do you know the quadratic function, like y equal to f of square?
Yeah.
Y equal to x square, sorry.
X square.
Yeah. So
ax square plus bx plus c.
So this is a quadratic function. So if the data points are closer to the mean, the value will be close to 0, and if the data point is far apart, you can see that it is shooting up like anything. quadratically. So the distance value will be more for the points that are far apart, whereas they will be, the distances will be like the square value will be relatively lower compared to the farther ones. Is that clear?
Yeah, but do you mean that is it? Are we ignoring that data
No,
point?
we are
or,
not ignoring it. We are including it. So, but we are having like more length for that. Like instead of taking the absolute length, say this data point is 100. So the difference between 0 and 100 is 100. So instead of taking 100, we are taking 100 square, which is like 10,000. So that will affect your mean. Okay, coming to that point, good that you brought that up. So I have these data points x on a number line, and I have these data points, or let me just give you give the names numbers here 0 1 2 and 0 1. Let me put a king mark over here, and 100. Okay, so what is the mean of this? Mean of this
1.
Yeah, so the mean is 1 over here. And what is the mean of this 3 data points?
100 is like an outlier over here.
So what is the mean?
50.
It will be
1 is
it will
1.
So the mean is 0
1 by 2.
0 plus 1 plus 100 by 3. Here it is 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 by 3, which is 1, and it will be 101 by 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see that the mean is getting affected by this number which is far apart, whereas
Yes, outlier.
Yeah, we'll come to the term outlier. Outlier has a certain notion attached to it. So like we'll come to that when we discuss the box plot. So yeah. So right now, just I want to tell you that like the mean gets affected because of the data points, like the spread of the data points. So if one of the data points, as somebody said, outlier, if there is an outlier, it will drastically affect your mean. So in that case, we tend to use another central tendencies like median, which is median. So median, it say
Why not mode? Because mode is not affected by the outlier.
How should I explain? Like I have to see if I have only okay, let me come back to that data points 1 2 3 and 1 to 100. So here the mean is 2, and in this case mean will be like 103 by 3, somewhere over here. So the mean is getting changed just because one data point is getting changed. So for example, you are doing some experiment or running some machine, and you are getting certain values out of it, like or reads out of it. So there is a fault in the machine, and the machine just gave you some random number, very high number or very low number. So that will affect the average quality, like average quantity that you will be computing. So in that case, median will be the appropriate measure, because no matter how the data is spread, median will be the central point. So it is not affected by the spread of the data. In this case also we have 3 data points, in this case 3 data points, and the median will be 2, and but the mean will be different for both the cases. So yeah, so median will be the appropriate option over here when you have like outliers in your data. Yes,
I have a question over here. Median, yes, I can, rather than mean, I can opt for median.
Yes.
But can I also opt for mode, because mode is also not get affected by the outlier?
Mode, yes, but how will you define mode? Like when all the data points are equally likely, like the count of each of the data point is same. So yeah.
Hello, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Sir, I think actually in normal situations or in practical situations, it is very hard to go for this mode condition, because we are inspecting some items, we get various dimensions, and these are actually distributed. As you said, there may be a chance of some outliers due to some errors in the measurement,
Yes.
maybe due to the manual error, or maybe
Yes.
some variation in the process itself.
Yes.
But we need to accommodate that. At the same time, we don't want to get a, deviation or a what actually happened is there we get the exact detail from the data, available data, only through considering the majority of the measures, that is the 1 2 3 like that. And at the same time we need to consider the outliers also. For that case we consider this 100 and we go for this median, not
Yes.
mode. It is not always in the practical case, it is not always go for the mode. That's
Yes.
might not be possible, I think. That may be the reason, I think so.
Okay, yeah, maybe we can discuss this in detail, like in some other session as well. So the point that I wanted to make over here is that the mean gets affected because of the data points, whereas the median remains unaffected. So let us just stick to that. Yeah, so we'll discuss this like in the general like scenario, like how we take into consideration all these factors. We will do other. We'll come to the statistical test part of it as well. So please hold on to your queries. We'll come to that later. Okay, so this was all about the dispersion. Yeah, there is another point that I wanted to make. Now we have seen mean, we have seen the variance or the absolute deviation. Say I have a distribution like this. This is a normal distribution. And another distribution like this. Okay, so here the mean is same, even the standard deviation or like the dispersion is also same. So what is different in this case?
The observations of data.
Yeah, so here you can see the pickedness or the mode value over here. So this is different. So this term pickedness is called as kurtosis in formally. Formally we call it kurtosis, and there are like some other multiple names to kurtosis, like leocortic or leptocortic. I don't remember exactly what the names are, but it shows like how picky the data is. Okay, so this was all about the dispersion. Like kurtosis is one of the dispersion measures, uh, mean absolute deviation, variance, and kurtosis. And the square root of variance is called as standard deviation. So if it is a normal distribution, we will see what normal distribution is. So within one standard deviation, the area under this curve will be around like 68%. Within 2 standard deviation to either side, it will be like around 95%, and 3 standard deviations it will be 99% around. So it is in the terms of standard deviation the area is computed. We'll discuss this in more detail in probability and the later section of the course. Okay, so this was all about the measures of central tendency and dispersion. There are other measures also which Professor Ramesh has discussed. So yeah, I'll urge you all to please go to the lecture videos and revise all that once, and let me know if you have any queries in that. But let me come back to the visual representation of data. But before we go over there, I would like to have all these questions first. Like, let us discuss this. I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover all the probability concepts today. Is there anyone like who has not gone through the questions which I uploaded? Like, I have uploaded these slides already to the drive folder, and the link to the drive folder is over here in the video description. So if you visit this video, you will find the link over here in the description.
Sir.
where I am uploading the slides and the collab notebooks, whatever.
Sir.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Sir, what is your channel name? Could you say, sir?
Let me just put the link over here.
Hello.
Yeah, I'll just put the link over here in the chat box. It's NPTEL live sessions, Saish Jaiswal. Okay.
Can we get the recordings over there itself? Or,
Yeah, recordings will be uploaded over here. So the recording of the first session is available here. These are like recordings of the previous course which I was taking in the previous semester. Okay, so you can find it under the playlist. So if you just visit the playlist, you will find this playlist, data analytics with Python. All the recordings will be uploaded to this playlist, and in that so in the video description you will find this link over here. So this link has this is a link to a drive folder which is having the material that I am using for every week. So if you go to week 1, you will find this week 1 content over there, like this notebook that I used, the slides and the data files that were taken from the SWAYAM portal. Okay.
So is there any WhatsApp group or like that so that we can get in touch or directly make a query?
Yeah, so no, we don't have a WhatsApp group, but there is a forum actually. So there is this ask a question option over here in SWAYAM portal. So if you go over here, it will redirect you to a Google group where you can add your query, like using this new conversation option. So you can see like there are multiple queries put by other people. If your query, you can go through their queries as well and see if somebody else has already asked what you want to ask. If not, you can add your conversation over here, and one of the team members will reply to you.
So I had a doubt. So when we registered for this course, so
Yeah.
what happened was that we had been given the link for the BSc group by IIT Madras. So that does not have to do anything with this one, right?
No. This is NPTEL, not the BSc online degree. I think you are talking about BSc online degree of IIT Madras.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is totally different than this.
And our assignments are totally different because the assignments on the NPTEL group is the only thing that we have to do, right?
Yes, that is only expected, and you will be having an offline examination most probably.
And that registration has to be done before like 29th February, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you would have received an email. Like I'm not very sure about the deadline, but yeah, there will be some deadline for registration.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So let us quickly go over the questions. Okay, so this is the first question. So what will be which of the following would be the value of x in the Python programming language? So there is a variable called x, and I'm doing certain operation on it.
Saish,
Uh-huh.
I think your screen is not
Oh, my bad.
different screen.
Sorry. Let me resume the presentation. Okay, I think like you guys were not able to see what I was explaining earlier. So in the video description you will find a link over here. So if you go to this link, it will redirect you to a Google Drive folder in which the material, whatever material I am using, are stored. So for week 1, whatever I have used, like slides and the collab notebook and the data files that were used, are all available over here. So you can go and use them like whenever you feel like revising the things that we discussed in the session. So it is arranged session wise, like week wise, so you can visit anytime after the session gets over. I'll try to upload at the like right away after the session. Okay, so we'll quickly discuss some questions and then move on to the probability part. Okay, so the first question is there is some Python code, and the question is which of the following would be the value of x at the end in Python programming language?
15.
Okay, can you
15.
please
15.
sorry, please don't answer, please put it in chat maybe. Okay, is there anyone who did not get this?
Not
Okay. So what is happening? We are assigning this value 10 to x. Now x is having the value of 10. Now you replace this x with 10. So 10 plus 10, it will be 20. So 20 is getting assigned to this variable x. Now x is having 20. So 20 minus 5, 15 is getting assigned back to x. So the final value of x will be 15. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can try this out in Python. Like you can just open a Golang notebook or whatever interface you are using, and then just run this code. Okay, answer is 15. Okay, here is another code. Now this is a bit tricky. So what will be the final value of x? Please put that in chat. Think over it and then put that in chat.
Sir, it's 25.
Yes, please don't answer.
Can you just go back to the question?
Yeah. Let me do one thing. Let me just share that particular tab. Okay.
I have a question here. Like when you say x is equal to x minus 5, and after that I see x plus 5.
Yeah, that's
So
the
will that
part.
work?
That's the part you should be noticing. Yeah, so many are answering 25. Let us see what the answer is. So answer is again 15.
Sir, 10 answer.
No, answer is 15. So what is happening over here? X is getting 10. Now you are doing 10 plus 10, getting assigned to x again 20. So 20 minus 5, 15, getting assigned back to x. So x is having 15 now. But here it's simply just doing 15 plus 5 and storing it nowhere. Like there is no assignment being done over here into x.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's simply a statement which is like x plus 5, and again these three are like simple statements. No assignment is being done over here to x. So whatever value x is getting till this point will be the final value which it will be containing. So the answer is still 15.
But will this work? I don't think so. It will
Yeah,
throw the error.
it will. It won't throw error. Let me just run it.
Oh, this is strange.
Yeah. So yeah. So what you are seeing over here is the final value over here. But if I just print x, so the value of x is 15. So in Colab actually whatever is the last statement, it will just simply print that last statement. So if you even if you are not printing it explicitly, so I am explicitly printing x value over here, so it is 15. So it won't throw any error. It is simply a statement.
So the screen is not visible, sir.
Oh, sorry.
The collapse screen.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is, if you so here the value of x is 15. So if you just write it like this and then run it over here, it will print the value of this x minus 5. So x is actually having 15, and then x minus 5 will be getting printed over here. But if you print the value of x, it will be having 15. So these statements are simple statements. No assignment is done. The final value of x will be like 15 over here.
But what is the use like without having the LHS? Like
It's there is not as such any use over here. It was just to demonstrate that if the assignment is not being done, the variable value will not get changed.
Concept wise.
Yeah, concept. It's just a concept. Yeah.
Yeah, do we use anywhere such kind of, I mean, this kind of
Yeah.
expressions?
So yeah, you are.
Time?
you are not using an expression, but yeah, it means you can call it as an expression. You are just doing this df dot group by, you are trying to print something over here, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
even assign it to a variable like
Correct.
dfg.
Correct. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
so here it's simply print option, like it's just simply displaying it, but if you want to assign it to a variable, you can assign it as well.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, now again similar sort of question. So what will be the output of this? Like which of the following will be the output of the following? Okay, so many say 2060. So yeah, that is the right answer. So many of you would have got it. So these are again simple statements, no assignment been done. So x is having 20 and y is having 60. So the final value of x and y will be 20 and 60. Okay, the measure of central location for the data that can be obtained by which of the following?
Mean.
Yeah, mean. So we did not discuss this range earlier. So range is nothing but the maximum value in your data points, a maximum value of your data points and the minimum value. So say if I have data points 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the range will be 4 minus 0. If I have data points 2, 3, 4. So the range will be 4 minus 2. Okay. Yeah, so that brings me to the point, like I forgot to share the visualization part of it. So somebody mentioned about box plot. So let us see what box plot is. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Visible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the kind of chart that gives you quite a lot of information. So here you can see this box around over here. So this particular line in this box plot represents the median, and then these are the quartiles that we talked about: Q1, Q2, Q3. Q1 means 25% of the data points are below it, Q2 is 50% of the data points, and Q3 75% of the data points. Now this range Q3 minus Q1, this is known as interquartile range. So the box will be within this interquartile range, and then you can see this T over here, right? So this T is like whatever data points are falling beyond 1.5 times the interquartile range, these are termed as outliers formally. So if you have data points and you want to find mean and don't want it to be affected quite a lot by the outliers, you can simply ignore those outliers based on this box plot. So
can you repeat once?
Okay, so let me just show you another box plot. So you can see there are 3 box plots over here. One is for model 1, model 2 and model 3. So you can see this line over here in this box plot, that is the median. That shows the median for the data points in model 1, data points for model 2 and data points for model 3. Now you can see this Q1 and Q3. So this is Q1 first quartile, 25% of the data points are below it. Median is the 50th percentile or second quartile. Q2 50% of data points are below it, and then Q3 is 75 percentile. So 75% of the point are below it, and the range Q3 minus Q1 is called as interquartile range. And you can also see that this range is also showing you the dispersion of the data, like how far how the data is spread away from the median. So if the spread of the data is more, the interquartile range will be higher, the value will be higher compared to this particular data over here. So that is one dispersion measure that we missed. So range is one, range in general means maximum minus minimum, but interquartile range means Q3 minus Q1. So there is a term associated with it. So what now? Interquartile range is IQR. So this is a length. So IQR times 1.5. So this T is 1.5 times. So if the data point is within this 1.5 times IQR, so the length of the T will be till that data point. Say this outliers were not here, like only one data point was here. So the length of the T would have been just this much, like you see over here. So it is still here. But if the data points go beyond 1.5 times this interquartile range or this length, so these are depicted as outlier. So the length of this T or the line will be max to max 1.5 times the interquartile range. Now whatever data points are falling beyond that.
Sorry to interrupt you again. Can you explain it again, sir?
Which part did you not understand?
The interquartile range from it.
Interquartile range is simply Q3 minus Q1. So whatever position is there, so say here Q3 is at some 0 point something and Q1 is something over here negative 0 point something. So this 0 point something minus negative 0 point something, so this entire length is called as interquartile range. Is that clear? It's basically the length of this.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So any specific derivation, or why do we take it 1.5?
That's the definition actually, like that's the definition used in statistics, that 1.5 times the interquartile range if the points are lying below that, so those will be termed as outliers. So that's the rigid definition that they have given.
Oh, okay.
It's Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. That will be like, if it is beyond that, it will be whatever points will be over here, those will be outliers. Similarly here, Q3, so it will be like Q3 plus, it should be plus ideally, Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Okay, there is any query. Vertical lines denote what, sir? Okay. So this, are you talking about this vertical line? This is just a limit. Like you can represent the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is nothing. This is just a maximum limit over here. Yeah, please.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So we can tell that box plot is a visualization of a data.
Yes. It is basically you are visualizing the data and then you are getting the information about the median, where the quartiles are, and how far, like how the data is spread, and if there are any outliers or not. So if you want to compare multiple groups, say there are A, B, C, D groups, so you can see that in this particular group, this is age on the y-axis. So you can see the median age of this group is over here, and the spread in the age, that is like the variation in the age is not much compared to this one. So in this group you can see like the median age is also high and the spread also is high in the ages of the people who are there present in the group. So it can give you a very good visualization of the data. You can use it to compare different groups, like you can have a very good comparison across all these groups using this box plot, and also you can get an idea of if there are any outliers or not in the data.
Can we observe that data is also different?
Sorry?
Means A and B more data are there and D is the small one?
Yeah, so as I said, like median is not affected by the data values and the number of data points. It will be the central value of the data. So whatever number of data points are there, it will be the central value for that.
And one more question here, like as I see the third box plot, the interquartile range is multiplied with 1.5 in the upper side and the bottom.
So here, so here in this case, the minimum point that is there, it is within 1.5 times interquartile range. So it will be limited to that minimum point. If it is, if the points are going beyond 1.5, it will be restricted to 1.5 times interquartile range, and the points will be shown as outliers.
Okay. Because of the points are within 1.5, it is depicting like this.
So it
Okay.
shows the minimum and the maximum, so mean and the max, and if it, so the mean value can go till 1.5 times interquartile range, and whatever data points are there beyond that will be outliers.
Okay. So in any case, like 1.5 is a rigid one which we have to consider to find the outliers.
Yes, 1.5 times the interquartile
Interquartile.
range. Yes. Yeah, so this is the correct figure, Q1 plus 1.5 times, and it should be Q3 plus actually, not Q1. Okay, fine. So this was one plot, and then we have histogram plots, which are nothing but like frequency of each of the categories that you have. So you can see the mean will be over here, somewhere over here, median, the mode will be over here, that is the maximum occurring value, and median will be like the median value of all these data points. So let me try to show you mean, mode, median. Okay, so we are seen such kind of a plot. So this shows this is like a symmetrical distribution in which mean, mode and median are the same, but if the data is not symmetrical, so you can see that mode is over here, median is here, and the mean has changed. In this case, the median is here, mode is here, and mean is over here. Let me just share this on my iPad. I want to explain why this is negatively skewed and positively skewed. Okay, so I have a distribution like this. This is symmetric. So here mean, mode and median are the same, whereas if the data is like this, the mode is over here, median, and there will be mean over here somewhere. So this is called as skewed data. So the mode is like the mean, mode and median are not the same, and the data is not symmetrically distributed. Yeah, so now the skewness like quantitatively it is defined as 3 times mean minus median by sigma. I hope I am correct. Please correct me if there is any mistake. So if you see, in this case mean is greater than median, so this particular quantity will be positive, hence it is known as positively skewed. Or you can see that the tail of this is the tail, so it is towards the towards right, so this is also known as right skewed data. In this case the tail is towards left, so this is left skewed data. And if you see the skewness measure, mean is over here, median is over here, and mode is here. So mean minus median will be negative, hence it is called as negatively skewed data. I hope these terms are clear.
Just a moment. This mean maybe in between mode and media also?
In this case it is generally not. It might be some other distribution. So this is like a normal like a skewed distribution.
It's a normal skewed distribution.
Yeah. Okay. It's a skewed distribution basically, and not standard normal distribution is basically the symmetric distribution that you see generally. So in this case it's generally this way. Let me just go back to this?
Can we go back to the questions, please?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, so this is negatively skewed, positively skewed, and symmetrical distribution. So let us see the questions. So the measure of central location for the data can be obtained by which of the following? So answer is mean. Okay. In calculating the mean of a sample, the value of summation xi is divided by which of the following?
Not visible, sir.
Sorry, just I'll just share the tab.
No, it's visible. You are sharing the slides, right?
Yeah, I'm sharing the tab now so that I can see your
You can
responses.
pin both the presentations actually. So whenever you switch, it will still be visible.
Yeah, but the thing is that uh, I don't want to have both the things together in my system right now because it's getting recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, what will be the answer? In calculating the mean of a sample, the value of summation xi is divided by which of the following? Okay, so many of you got it. It's
Sir,
n.
n-1.
So answer is n. Yeah, so we'll come to that n minus 1 term that is used for computing the sample variance. So yeah, please hold to that question. For mean, it's always n, even if it is population mean or sample mean, it's always n, the number of data points.
Number of observations.
Yes. So mu is an example of which of the following? It's straightforward answer.
Sample statistic.
No, as we discussed, it's a population parameter.
Population parameter.
Yeah. For sample statistics, what is the term used? Sample mean. We discussed it.
X bar.
X bar. Yeah, X bar is the term. Oh yeah, my bad. I think M is also not used. M is for median. MD is used for median. X bar is the term that is used for sample mean. So yeah, please.
M is used for?
MD is the term that is used for median.
Okay,
Yeah.
and sample statistic is X bar. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I myself got confused in those like the terminologies. So yeah, please, it's X bar is the sample mean and mu is the population parameter. Okay, the median of the sample is equal to which of the following?
50th percentile.
Okay, is anyone having any doubt in this? We'll just quickly move over it. In the case of right skewed data, the measure of skewness will be
negative.
Skewness is towards the left.
Right.
Skew is
yeah, so we just discussed it. Right skewed means the tail is towards the right side.
Towards the right.
Yeah.
That's positive.
Okay, so it's a positive one. Just a second, I'm just trying to see in your quiz like what all topics were there, if I'm missing out any topic. Yeah. So yeah, one more thing, like X bar is also used and M is also used. MD is the term that is used for median and M is used in statistics for sample mean. So yeah, you can consider M also as the sample mean.
Sample, one moment. Sample statistics that you have just mentioned.
Yeah.
M or X bar can be used.
Yeah, and mu is the population parameter.
Mu is a population parameter, and
Yeah.
for the median we'll use MD.
Median is MD.
Okay.
Yeah. M and subscript D. As far as I remember, Professor Ramesh used the notation for skewness, mu minus MD upon sigma. Okay, oops, I think I have shown this answer. Arithmetic mean is not applicable for nominal or ordinal data, that is true. Okay, which of we consider the following statements. Statement A, with I log we can pass in negative values, with log we can pass in negative values. Which one is correct?
A is correct.
A is correct.
B.
With lock, you can pass the numbers? I don't think so.
A is correct, sir.
Yeah, so please answer in the chat. Okay, so the correct answer is B. A is correct. I log we can pass negative values, but for log we cannot have negative values. Log we can pass the positive values for rows, but not for the columns. And in ilog we can pass negative values for rows and as well as columns, but we cannot have the names over the names of the columns in ilog. Okay, so the correct
So
answer.
when the statement is so generic, I'm assuming it for both the rows and the columns.
No. So yeah, so it's a generic one. Like it's basically asking for the rows. So if you just pass
Asking
one
for the
value,
rows.
yeah, just one value, so that is like row. We can pass in negative values. You cannot pass any negative value, like even for row and column, you cannot do. For log in general, like you cannot pass numerical values even for columns. So it's applicable to. It's talking about the rows. Yeah, is it clear to everyone? So we discussed it already, right? Like in log, if you do, yeah, in ilog, you can have this -1 and it will give you the last entry. And but if you just consider log of -1, it will throw an error because negative entries are not allowed in log. So that's what this question was all. Oh, sorry, again I have not shared this. So if it is log, sorry, ilog, I can have -1 over here. It will give me the last entry, and if it is log, it will throw an error. Okay.
For the last entry, I think tail is also there.
Sorry?
For the last entry, we can use tail also, perhaps.
For the last entry, tail. Yeah, you can use tail as well. Let me
Tail
just show
also.
that. Yeah. So, tail of 1 will give you the last entry. Sorry, df.tail, not just tail. So, it will give you the last entry. So, if you just write df.tail2, so it will give you the last 2 entries. And similarly, head. So, head will give you the first 2 entries. And so means whatever n value you substitute over here, like head df.head 6, it will give you the first n entries from the data frame.
For last but one?
Last second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that case you will have to use ilog.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is like ilog -2. So it will give you the last second entry, Zimbabwe 2002 and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So what operations can be performed on nominal data? Okay, you can unmute and answer because we have to rush actually.
A.
Addition and subtraction or ranking.
It's classification and counting. You cannot do addition, subtraction, ranking on nominal data. Ranking can be done on ordinal data. Addition, subtraction on interval and ratio, and multiplication and division only on ratio data. Which quantity remains unchanged irrespective of skewness? We saw this just now.
Mode.
Mode, sir.
Okay, are you sure about it?
Median.
Yes. So
it's mode.
It's median actually.
Median.
Because if you see over here,
Median, sir.
mode is the highest quantity over here, but median remains the same. Median will be the middle value of the data points.
It's like arranging the data in the ascending or descending and
then
pick up the
finding the
middlemost
middle
value.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so it will be unaffected.
Yeah, it won't be affected by the shape of the data. So I hope that answers somebody's query that the mode will also remain unaffected. But so mode is also dependent on the kind of distribution the data is having. So median is the only central tendency measure that remains unaffected. Okay. Okay, here is a function. Yeah, now I think I have not discussed this part earlier. So there is something called as default value that you can pass to the function parameter. So here is a function m which is having two input a and b, and the b is set to 10 by default. So if you pass 5 over here, okay, I have shown the answer directly. So what will happen, 5 will get assigned to a and there is no assignment for b. So b will be set to 10 automatically and the return value will be 5 plus 10.
B is already assigned.
Yeah, b is already assigned. So this is known as default parameter. So for example, you want to find out like a distance traveled by an object. So you have this acceleration due to gravity as set as 9.8 by default, and you pass on the initial velocity or so on. So you can use the kinematical functions and so on and then return the value of distance. But if you want to change that acceleration due to gravity, you are trying to find it on some other space or other planet where the acceleration due to gravity is different. So in that case, I can just change the value. I can pass on the extra value. Now b was set to 10 and if I pass on 15, it will get overwritten. That value of 10 will get like, so b will get the value of 15.
Answer is D.
Yeah, so in this case answer will be D. So if you don't pass 15, the by default b will be having the value of 10, and if you pass on some value, it will get overwritten. Okay, I think that was the last question for this, and then there is one part which was I wanted to discuss, but let me just quickly talk about the.
Please learn the last question again.
Oh, last question. Okay, let me just go back over here. Okay, so in Python function, are you familiar with Python functions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in function, this is a function which is having two input parameters a and b. So I could have just simply written a b and written a b. So this will okay, let me just show you on Colab. A b and there should be a colon and return a plus b, and if I do m of 1 comma 2, it is returning 3, that is sum of these two. But
yes,
yeah, if I set this to 10 and don't pass the second value, so in this case it will by default set this parameter to 10 and return the value of a plus b, that is 1 plus 10.
Yes.
But if this was not there and if I try to call this function like this, it will throw an error because it is expecting another value as well. We have not set this to anything. So if we pass like call the function like this only with one input parameter without setting this to any default value, then that will be an error. But if you set this to some default value, it will be working fine.
Is there any other method also doing addition? Suppose if I say a equal to value and b equal to some value and then a plus b.
Yeah. So I can just do m1 comma 2, say a will be assigned 1 and b will be assigned 2, because this value will be getting overwritten by this value I am passing explicitly. Is that clear?
No, here we are following the definition mode. This is the definition, basically defining.
Yeah, this is defining, but I am calling it over here. Maybe I should write it in a separate cell. Let me just do that.
No, without defining, if I want to do addition.
Oh, without defining you want to do, you can just simply do 1 plus 2. That's it. Yeah, that's simple. Or you can even do a equal to 1, b equal to 2 and then do a plus b. That also works.
But I was not getting it. I was doing like this only.
Oh, you would have not printed it like in Colab. It by default prints the last statement, but if
Okay.
it was like in Jupyter, even Jupyter Notebook last statement will be printed. But if it is any other editor or terminal, maybe it is not getting printed over there. Yeah, we'll have to check your code actually, what you have done exactly. So you can explicitly print the value of a plus b like this using the print function. Okay. Yeah. So coming, okay, I hope there are no more queries in this, but yeah, these were the topics I was supposed to cover today because that were needed for your assignment of week 2. So we'll just quickly talk about these things. What is best, Jupyter or Colab? It depends on you. I prefer Colab because I can access it using any system wherever I go. So it gets stored on your Google Drive. So Colab is but if it is if you want to use a larger data set, like if you want to build machine learning models and use big data and larger data set, so in that case it is better to have it on your local system than because it will be difficult for you to upload it to Drive if it is very large data. So yeah, it depends on the case or the scenario. Yes. It will be on. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, what is your query?
I just wanted to know that Colab will serve as a purpose of Jupyter Notebook, and it will just we can make small programs there, and we can upload in our drive.
It will be on your drive. Whatever notebooks
It
you
will be on
create.
my drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will be on your drive. Whatever notebooks you create on Colab. So it's Google
Right.
Colab.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, if you want to do access data from your local system, it is better to use Jupyter because it is accessing it can access the data locally. But if you are using Colab, then you will have to upload the data to Colab space or your Google Drive. So that is one disadvantage of it. So you'll have to upload data separately over there. Yeah, but for this course, you are not using that big data, that large data set, so it's okay. You can just simply upload it to Colab. Okay, so let me just quickly go over the kind of the questions. Maybe through questions we will discuss, or do you want me to discuss this in the next session? Is there anyone having any query in the week 2 probability concept?
No.
Okay. Let me check if there is any concept that I'll be missing. There are things. So first is basic probability, and the second is distributions. So probability distributions. So I want to discuss them in detail, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that now. But if it is a very specific question relating to any of this topic, you can ask me right away. Any queries?
Saish, we will be having the next when we'll be having the next webinar. I mean the next
session
discussion.
For me, my sessions will be on Friday 6 to 8, but there are other TAs who will be taking sessions on Saturday and Tuesdays. So I think you'll be getting I think you would have received one email by this evening.
Yeah. So if you're gonna continue next Friday, will you take all these topics like probability and all?
Yeah, I'll be covering probability. I'm actually running a bit late because I was supposed to cover the probability today, but maximum time went into the data frame section actually, so I could not do that.
If there's any query in between, we can send it over the ask section.
Yeah, you can definitely ask over there. But CJS, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. So you can ask queries in tomorrow's session as well. So there will be 3 more sessions conducted by different other TAs. I think it will be like before 4th, means tomorrow is 3rd, and then no, the Tuesday will be coming after 4th. So tomorrow, yeah, you can ask your query tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Second assignment is very difficult. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry that I was not able to cover the probability concepts, but is there any specific concept that you would like me to explain?
I just had a small query related to Python coding. I was not able to use the symbols for mathematical symbols. Could you help me with that? Actually, the square root symbol, or I'm not sure. I'm not new to Python actually. So
Actually, you cannot use square root function like square root symbol and all in Python directly. There is a language called as Julia, which allows you to use all these mathematical functions like mathematical term symbols like integration and all, but it is not possible in Python. But in Python there is something called as NumPy library in which square root function is defined. So import, I'll just
for the code we can use to the code.
So import NumPy as NP, and there is a function called sqrt.
SQRT. Okay, thank
you.
Screen is not visible. Collab screen.
Sorry, my bad.
So I use PyCharm for my coding.
Yeah, that is also fine. That is also fine. No issues in that with that. So yeah, so there is this np.sqrt function in NumPy library, like sqrt function in NumPy library, which you can use to find the square root of any number.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any other queries? Sorry, Adarsh, you have any queries in linear regression? We will be covering linear regression quite later in the course. Yeah, you should have received one link by this evening for tomorrow's session. So for every session the link will remain the same, like whatever a link was shared last week, it will be the same. For my session this will be the same. Yeah.
So do I need to know anything about SQL for this course?
No, SQL is not needed for this course. That is like needed for the course called database management systems.
Okay, sir.
Can we use SQL in Python? Yeah, you can actually have SQL queries. I think there should be some library to do that. I'm not aware of it because I don't work in DBMS, but yeah, there must be some library which you can use to run SQL queries. Yeah, as you do in I think Java or JavaScript. I'm not sure if that is possible. Yeah, but it must be there in Python. Okay, thank you, Mugeshwar. Yeah. So there will be some library. You can just simply search. Let me just share the screen. Even I'm not aware of it, like what library is used. Python MySQL. Okay, so there is this SQL MySQL dot connector, which you can use to perform the SQL related tasks. Yeah, so there is this my cursor variable, and you are defining your SQL database, like a link to the SQL, like the host, user, and password database, and then you are creating an object out of it, and then using that object you are trying to execute certain SQL queries. Okay, for those who do not know about this, please ignore. It's just an extra information. Okay. Okay, Jagdisha. Yeah. Any other query? So today's link might be the same for tomorrow's class too. No. This link won't be the same for tomorrow's class. Tomorrow's class will be having a different link. This link will be same for my sessions. So other TAs will be having their own links. There, so some Teams link was Microsoft Teams link was shared via email by NPTEL team. So please look into your inbox. For those I'll just share my YouTube channel link again. So I'll be uploading all these session recordings over here on this YouTube channel. So if you have missed something, you can definitely go back and watch. Okay.
Sir, I have a question regarding job ready concern. Sir, actually, I'm not from this background. Going through the.
Yeah, maybe
Am I audible?
Ananda, like, yeah, maybe you should discuss this later because this is getting recorded. So, yeah, maybe like at the towards the end of this course, we can discuss that. Like, if it's not urgent.
Thank you,
sir. Yeah, sorry for that. Any other queries? Okay, so thank you everyone for joining, and I'm very sorry that I could not cover the probability part. I was purposefully going very slow because there are people like who are finding it difficult to grasp the basic concepts. So yeah, please yeah.
Thank you for this one.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll upload this
Thank you, sir.
video
Thank you,
shortly
sir.
by tomorrow morning. By tonight, I'll be uploading this, so it should be available by tonight or tomorrow morning. You can check it at on my channel. Week assignments, yeah. So week assignment, you'll have to go to Swayam, who was having that question, Bhagavi. So yeah, you'll have to go to Swayam. Let me share the screen. Oh, for live classes, yeah. So live class means the classes will be, the recordings will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. And if you like, for those who do not know about the assignments yet, assignments are there in the quiz section of every week. So you'll have to go to quiz, week 1 assignment, week 2 assignment. There won't be any quiz component in live class, and the live classes are not getting like, you are not getting any attendance for it. So yeah, I hope I got your question. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. I'll be ending this session now. If you have any queries, you can definitely ask in the next session, and yeah, you can ask the TA tomorrow, like whosoever is taking the session. You can ask questions relating to the probability concepts if those are not clear to you. Yeah, there will be a class by some other TA tomorrow, and I'll be taking the next session on Friday. I'll cover all this probability concept. I'll be going a little faster that time because it will just get cascaded, like if I go at a slower pace. So I recommend you attend tomorrow's session, get your doubts clarified. I'll also cover those topics, and if you have any queries, you can definitely put on the discussion forum. Let me just put the link to my YouTube channel again, so you can just visit this. It's called NPTEL Live Sessions, Saish Jaiswal. And apologies for any mistakes I would have made, like there was a confusion in the notation, so of sample mean. So it's M and X bar, both are used. So X bar is in general, it's like a mean of data points, X size. So M is the term that is used for sample mean in literature. Okay. So thank you everyone. I'll end the session now.